So happy to have Allie Rae with us for a lot of reasons, but she fits the bill for WAG Wednesday. She's down in Florida, and she's kind enough to spend a few moments with us today. Allie, it's Craig and Evan. Good afternoon. How you doing?
Hi, I'm great. Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, of course. So I'm trying to figure out, as I was reading the notes about your background and your life prior to becoming an OnlyFans actress and doing the type of stuff you and your husband do and you do by yourself, how you went from a Navy veteran to an ICU nurse to, adult content. Walk me through that.
Yeah, it's been a really crazy ride. I wasn't anything that I ever expected or thought that where I'd be today. But, I went in the Navy at 17. I was just a kid, essentially. I was the youngest sailor for 2 years in a row. And no one had ever been in the Navy that young. And so I did 7 years, got out, went into nursing school, and became an ICU nurse. And I loved it. It was like my passion.
Were you the child of an Army family, a Navy family? Was your dad or mom in the services, and that drove you to join, or was there a reason at 17 you said, I'm joining the Navy?
No one in my family really was. Just a recruiter caught me at the mall and made it sound really fun. You can, leave your hometown, go out and explore. And I was like, let's do it. So it was it was actually a 3-week heads up, and then I left.
Wow.
Yeah, it was right after.
I will say this.
Was it worth it? Looking back on it, when you look at the life experience, would you say one of the best decisions I ever made?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it set me up for success. I learned about responsibility, et cetera. I mean, I did very well.
But I have to ask, you're a beautiful woman. Obviously, you're very well endowed. It's part of, the sex appeal that you have, obviously. When you're a 17, 18, 19-year-old young woman in a situation surrounded by, stereotypically, young, virile men who are clearly going to be attracted to you, I would think that could also, open you up for unwanted advances, harassment, that type of thing. Did you experience any of that?
No, I never did. I mean, I got married at 18, so I was taken pretty early. And on top of that, I had all my kids when I was younger. So I think I was just the pregnant chick. And so I was kind of not as appealing.
Although there are fetish videos for that too these days. You'd be crazy. All right, so you get out of the Navy, you're in your mid-20s, you're married, the whole thing. And then you decided, you love helping people, you want to be of service. You become an ICU nurse. Now, I've read stories of some, not a lot, of women who have claimed that their attractiveness or their decision on their own time to do things like OnlyFans made it a very uncomfortable work environment, and certain hospitals and certain businesses have asked women to pick one or the other. Did you experience that also?
Yeah, I did. I actually had a group of nurses that found me. I think I was shouted out by Barstool or something, and they found me and then realized what I was doing. And I didn't even, this is an alias for me. So I didn't even go by my real name. I never disclosed where I work, but they ended up telling management, printing a bunch of pictures off. And then they gave me the ultimatum to delete it or leave.
And what they didn't realize is that you are every male patient's dream, the beautiful ICU nurse. We all have dreamt it. We've all had that fantasy. Even Evan.
No, just once or twice.
Wow. So they came to you and said, what? You have to pick one or the other. We can't have you doing adult content at night and being a nurse during the day?
Well, yeah, it was kind of crazy because I never told anyone about this. Obviously I was super private, and they kind of made it a big deal, these nurses. And unfortunately, it did become a distraction on the unit once people knew, and I was devastated by it. But I was graduating with my doctorate, and I was going to start doing research. I had no plans. It never affected me at work. I was the same nurse. I was amazing at my job. And so it was a really sad time for me actually to kind of hang that up.
Yeah.
And then once I did, it was okay, well, this is it now. Now it's my full-time gig. And so I really poured 150% into it.
Well, was that an easy decision to make? Did you go back and forth on what to choose?
Oh yeah. For months I advocated for myself, talking about why was this just not affecting my work? I cried about it a lot, and it became so toxic to a point where my husband was we were making so much money at that time too. I did not need to be there. And it was kind of you know what, this is the next chapter in our life. And I'm just gonna,
they were out to get you.
Because I'll tell you why, because they were ugly.
Yeah.
ugly women
They were jealous.
hate attractive women. It's just the
they
thing.
were bad.
It's
They
just
were
the way it
so
goes.
mean. So mean to me.
Now, have you ever role played the hot, sexy ICU nurse on OnlyFans?
Oh yeah, it's a big request. It's a big request.
And it's natural because it's real because you've done it
It's real.
before.
Yeah,
Right.
like it's not even role playing.
not
It's
ro-
like,
was
I
gonna
do
say,
this.
It's not role
I
playing.
already
Now-
had all the costumes and everything.
Now, does your husband play the doctor or the patient?
No, he doesn't. He's in our films, obviously, for that type of stuff, but
Right.
he doesn't like to be like shown by face. He's very secretive, kind of off to the side.
Got
type
it.
of
Well,
thing.
listen, he has to go to Home Depot once in a while too, and he doesn't want to be seen or noticed as the guy. Now, I was told that among some of your photos and videos that are very popular, one of the things that your fans seem to have no problem paying like ridiculous amounts of money for is something to do with your thumb. They use
Yes.
some kind of like, is that what it is right there? So,
Yeah.
God.
So,
It bends.
and I'm trying to think how I describe that.
It
so,
bends backwards, essentially.
At
It's
the
like
top
90
knuckle.
degrees. Like
Yeah.
you could like
Look at
prop
that.
something on top of it.
So I'm looking at Allie Rae's thumbs, and both thumbs do it. At the top knuckle and above, she can bend her thumb backwards so that it's horizontal.
Yeah.
Like literally, you could put a beer on top of
Oh
that
my
thumb,
God.
and it would sit there no
It
problem.
looks like a toe.
Look at that. So, how do you realize that you have that skill? Like, how does that show up one day?
Well, I am like truly a businesswoman, just like to the T. And I will profit off what I could profit off. And somebody wrote me on TikTok and was like, wow, such bendy thumbs with like a smirk face. And so
Yeah.
I wrote back and I was like, well, tell me about your little love of bendy thumbs.
Okay.
Like I wanted to know more. And then when I realized it was like a fetish for him, I was like, oh, I got you. Like these are very unique. And so I knew, and it turns out there was quite a few more. There's like at least 6, guys now that I have this thing for thumbs. And
Really?
they love that.
Like I was
Not
reading.
even crazy stuff. They just like driving, writing, holding a coffee cup, just
So not
very-
even, so
yeah.
it's not even a sexual thing. That may be for
Yeah.
them. They may be gratified by it, but you're not doing anything sexual. They just want to see
Oh.
your thumb in action, doing mundane stuff like we all do, which is
Yeah.
crazy to me because the other day I was saying to Evan, I read a story that there was a gal who was taking pictures of her boyfriend's feet without the boyfriend knowing about it. And she was on this website called Feet Finder, and she made like $25,000 in a month just selling photos of her boyfriend's toes. So I don't want to get into all your business here, but just to share with the audience, what's the single most amount of money you ever sold a thumb picture for?
Well, I sold about 50 pics for $2,800. So that was pretty good when I don't know what the
Wow.
math is on that per picture, but it was, just for pictures of my thumbs, it was just like
That's
super easy.
crazy.
So $3,000 for 50 photos of her thumb, but again, non-sexual.
Right.
Just like here's my thumb.
It's a reminder, Craig, that you just need to find something about yourself that people
Yeah.
will be,
Yeah.
fetished by, and you can make a fortune.
Yeah,
Anything.
I once had hemorrhoids. I'm thinking maybe people would want to see
Probably
the
a
photos of
market
that.
for it. There's
That's
probably a market for it.
crazy.
Like I have
And-
a really ugly foot. I showed that to you last week, Craig.
Yeah, you do.
You think I can make money off my
I do.
grotesque foot?
Listen, when I did the show with Boomer, there was talking to Allie Rae from OnlyFans here. There was a gal, a heavyset gal, whose goal in life, for whatever reason, was to be 1,000 pounds. And she was already like 400 or 500 pounds, and she was well on her way. And she couldn't really leave the house because of her size. And she found that there was this online community of men that liked watching her eat. So for like $9.95 a month or something like that, she charged them a monthly fee. And every night for like an hour, she'd go online and she'd eat like a pint of Ben & Jerry's or a bag of Tostitos, whatever it was.
Wow.
And like thousands of men would pay her just to watch her eat.
That's crazy.
It was like, it was crazy to me. Now, do guys ask you to do like kinky, weird things for money? Have you ever had to say no to something?
Yeah, I've definitely had ones I've had to say no to. I'm pretty particular. Like if I'm not comfortable with it, I won't do it. It doesn't matter what the dollar amount is, especially when you don't know where some of this content will end up and in what context it could be cut or shown.
Right.
And so, yeah, there's some that I'm just like, nah, but I've had a lot of really, really unique ones.
And what about your kids? Are your kids aware that mom is doing this stuff? And how do you walk that line?
So our older two, we whenever my story kind of broke out and Barstool and stuff was covering it, it got to a point where they follow stuff like that. So I just didn't want them to see it, secondhand. So my husband and I took the older two to dinner because they're 19, 18, and 12.
So they're old enough to know. The two oldest two are, yeah.
Yeah. So we took the older two to dinner and kind of just were like, we kind of beat around the bush for a while there and threw back some shots. And then kind of like, I just had to let it out. And our middle knew what OnlyFans was, so that was kind of actually helpful because I was God forbid we have to actually.
So was it like you're at Applebee's eating boneless wings and like, listen, your mom's kind of hot, she's got big boobs. Well, we're making a lot of money and Daddy's building a pool now.
I think a lot started to make sense for them. They're like, so that's why we have all this money, and they kind of put two and two together. But then it's like that was it. We don't like talk about it over dinner now. It's like they know what goes on, they know what we do, and.
Do you encourage or discourage your kids from ever getting involved in the family business someday at OnlyFans?
No, it's not a family business. But I mean, they're their own people. And if they end up doing something like that, I mean, I really don't have any room to judge on that. But I think, I'm at an age where I'm like mature and I kind of understand this more as a business. I think there can be a lot of, it can be dangerous.
Yeah, like you're not an immature 18-year-old kid who's making bad decisions. You've lived a life already. You get it. And you're not going to be taken advantage of. Let me mention real quick that WAG Wednesday is brought to you by 1800 Cristalino, the smoothest tequila there is. Cristalino's voluptuous, chosen on purpose, taste profile is unparalleled in the category. Now, about 4 months ago, Allie, I built a chicken coop, and I've got 9 chickens right now. And I was reading a story that you once accidentally killed a chicken by smothering it in your breasts. And I wonder if you could maybe walk us through how that happened.
So I was like 16 and I bought this cute little baby chick for Easter. And I think it was like dyed purple or something. I don't know. I was from Texas. We do weird stuff down there. So getting a baby chick was the trend. And I got one, brought it home, slept. I went to bed at night and kind of tucked it in my sports bra and woke up the next morning. And oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm admitting this on cam, but the poor little baby chick was smushed flat and apparently I had smothered it with my breasticus.
Well,
and so it was
I will give you good
I was
news.
devastated. I literally was devastated and I feel so bad. Like that still haunts me to this day. It's crazy.
The good news is Craig actually killed a chicken the other day.
I did.
By pouring water on it when it was 100 degrees outside.
What happened was we had at the time 9 chickens and we had one variety. They're called Polish hens. And they're kind of slight. They're not real robust chickens. And it's up here in the Northeast, I'm sure you have the same in Florida. It's been like 100 degrees 5 days straight, high humidity. So I went out to the chicken coop. 2 of the chickens were dead. And this one little guy was dying. And I held him in my arms and tried to give him water as he breathed his last breath. And now they're mocking me for it. But I did not flatten the chicken in between my boobs.
How would you rather die if you're a chicken, Craig?
In her boobs.
Exactly.
Yes. No, hold on. Like if I had a choice of death, it's in her breast, not in my arms.
My only point is the way your chickens died worse than the way her chicken died.
100%.
That's all I'm saying.
Yes.
Thank you.
All day was hot and sweaty for both of them. I can tell you that. Now, how often do famous people try to slide into your DMs?
They do. I have people that shock me that are in there.
Give us a couple examples. Go ahead.
I'm not gonna. That's
no. You gotta give us one. Give us like Leonardo DiCaprio. You gotta give us. I'm sure some basketball players, hockey players, whatever. Give us one guy that slid in. He didn't do anything wrong. He just inquired, "What's up?"
I would never tell, but I do have hockey players. I do have hockey players.
So you're very popular amongst the hockey
players. I'm very,
players.
very professional. I take anonymity very seriously.
Well, she's a big hockey fan, right? You're a Bruins fan, if I read it correctly, right?
Massive. I love the
But
Bruins.
are the hockey players, without naming names, I respect it, more likely to jump into your DMs than, say, basketball, football, or baseball players?
Yeah, and because I'm like always up, I talked on community hockey boards. I'm always tweeting about it. So I think I just have more exposure in the hockey community because of that. And then of course, Boston, big hockey community.
What would it cost me to ask you to take a photograph with the little baby chick in between your boobs now?
I would do, if this is a memorial, we're going to make a memorial out of this.
I think we'll do it in honor of the dead chick from years ago.
I'll do it on the house. I mean, I just
Great.
think it's what the chick deserves.
Well, if, we'll hook up offline and we'll make sure that happens. And I'm happy to put that out there on our platform. I think it's the right thing to do in honor of that dead chicken.
I think I can do that. I think that's a great idea.
And what's next for you? What's the next big release or video or photograph or what do you got cooking?
So my new show, Tap That. I'm a huge craft beer lover. Like, I'm obsessed, and this is actually full circle. It's kind of how I started in social media. And then, so now I'm creating a show where I'm going to do craft brewery tours, reviews, go to festivals. Like, it's just going to be all surrounded by craft brews. So it's going to be pretty sick. And I'm very excited about it.
By the way, I do notice over your left shoulder, there is a Boston Bruin lava lamp. So I do see that over your shoulder there, yeah. So her Bruins fandom, Evan, is legitimate, and I know, I'm the only guy that's looking over her shoulder and not at her. But I did notice the Bruins lava lamp there. Good touch, well done.
Yes.
Even though we're Rangers and Islanders fans here, good touch.
I know. I prepared for this interview. I was like, all right.
Yes.
I'm ready.
Do you ever get to New York or no?
No, but I need to, because there's a couple podcasts that have invited me to come out. And so I think I just want to go out and like just kind of do them all, kind of do it like a little business trip. And
nice. Well, listen, if you ever get to New York, we'd love to have you come by and say hi and meet you in person.
Love it.
And, this is what I love about it, Evan. There was no plan on going to OnlyFans. It happened organically. And then all of a sudden you wake up, like best case scenario, an ICU nurse makes $100,000. Great living. And it probably works out to like $5 an hour because it's a hard job and there's a lot of hours. And we have great admiration and respect for the men and women who do that. And then all of a sudden, God's gift, your looks, your body, etc., you're now making a couple $1 million a year. And you're like, why in the world did I put up with those women's crap in that hospital for so long where all I have to do is put on a bikini, say hi to a couple losers in Chicago, and next thing you know, I'm a multimillionaire.
You just described the American dream, Craig.
Yes, I did. Yes, I did.
It's definitely a shift, but it's kind of like nice. You're coming in, like, I'm 38 years old now, and it's like, it's much lighthearted life. I'm having fun. I feel younger again, and it's kind of liberating. So I think it's weird to go from putting all, especially graduating my doctorate and never using it. That's all fun. But it's just like my life now is just so much different, not just financially, but it's just like more fun, lighthearted. And I feel like I've taken some years back. So.
And what is the number one most popular request for you? Is it video, pictures? Is it a specific kind of act? Like, what are we doing?
It's typically videos with my husband. Those are our top selling videos.
So your fans want to see you with your husband, not alone. That fascinates me.
Oh, yeah. We can put one of those out and make a crap ton of money overnight.
Really? And is it like full-on acting, like role-playing, or is it just, hey, we're in the bedroom getting it on?
That's the one thing I think that made my community grow so quickly and why I've been successful is the authenticity. It's literally a tripod in the corner. Like, we're doing what we normally do. We don't stage it. It's very real, raw, uncut, and it's just, you're just there to watch.
Evan, you and your wife should do that. Because I know our audience would pay a lot of money to watch you walk into the bedroom in a Met jersey.
They would pay to not see it. Trust me. They'd pay to never have that in their mind.
Okay, listen, honey. Tonight you're Felix Milan. Whatever it is, I don't know.
Yourself, man.
Well, Allie, listen, a real pleasure having you on. Thank you for joining us. And again, when you're in New York, we'd love to have you come by and say hi and keep doing what you're doing. And for the 7 years that you wore the American flag, we appreciate that and very, very much. You don't take that lightly and consider you a hero. So thank you for your service as well.
Thank you guys so much. Such a great show. I appreciate it very much.
All right, take care. Be well. Have a great weekend. There you go. Allie Rae. You never know, Evan.
That's an incredible American story right there.
But, hey, Tommy.
Navy to the ICU.
Tommy, do me a favor. Reach out and make sure she sends me the photo with the chicken. All right? We'll put that out for her. 100%. Yeah.